Let's just move to the next topic, where the Nigerian Labour Congress about 2 weeks ago staged a national protest over the proposed amendment of the Minimum Wage Act, where the national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, while addressing the workers during the protest in Abuja, said the wage, when relocated to the concurrent list, will from the exclusive list, will enable some state governors pay slave wages to the poor and helpless workers. Now, it is that frame that I'm trying to, how thus the concurrent list and the minimum wage, the exclusive list, why does it matter? Let me go to you.
Well, I think that it may not actually in the best interest of labor to remove issues about labor from the exclusive list to the concurrent list.
Now, for the layman, for those that don't know what it means, what's the difference between exclusive list?
I'm going there.
Okay.
I'm going there. Because if it's in the exclusive list, it is in the hands of the federal government. And if it is agreed, if legislation that this is the minimum wage, it means that it is mandatory, it becomes law that in every state that is the minimum wage. Okay. If you take it out of the exclusive and bring it to the concurrent list, where the concurrent means both federal and state can legislate on that, you put labor in jeopardy, especially in states that would have issues. We've seen a situation where some states have owed workers for 2 years, upwards of 2 years.
Wow.
And if you leave it outside, we take it out of that. Now it will be justiciable. What that means, you can go to law and enforce and say you owe this amount, because that is mandatory for every state. You can calculate, but when it's in the concurrent list and the state says we can't pay it, there's nothing anybody will be able to do. So it becomes what each state decides it can pay. A state like Lagos, for what we know, that probably has money, can say, okay, we can, for instance, can say we'll pay 50,000, per month. That's our minimum wage. Another states like Zamfara or perhaps any other state says we can't pay more than 10,000, and there's nothing you'll be able to do about it.
Okay.
So that's why it's a problem. But of course, talking about labor too, I really don't know if labor is in a position, because like you and I know, I need to take this swipe. It's important because we don't have labor in existence in Nigeria. You understand? If you have labor in existence, we've known how labor used to be. Even those who were the leaders of labor then have turned out to be something else today when they had the opportunity to be on the other side. But of course, labor should be the labor that we've always known, to be able to stand up for labor and even for the people. Because at the end of the day, apart from the organized private sector, the labor itself, when we talk about those who are employed, they have families. And so there's a huge a chunk of the population that's affected by this minimum wage and by the policies that are directed towards the welfare of labor.
So now, don't you think it's concurrent? It's it's so confusing now. Don't you think it will make it flexible? Now, if it gets to the power of the states, let's say state like, as you said, Lagos, state like Akwa Ibom, state like Delta State, River State, that are very rich, should be able to say, okay, even though the 30,000 naira is the minimum wage, for our state we can pay higher. Yeah. Does it cancel that if it's on the exclusive list?
Exactly what I wanted to say. You see, I tend to support the present system that they want to legislate or to move it to the concurrent list. Because we discover that there are some states that are actually unable to pay the federal minimum wage,
which is 30,000,
which is 30,000. Yes, they are unable to. You see, the 30,000.
But really, are there any states like that in this country?
There are some states we don't understand. There are some states. Now, if it is removed from the exclusive list to the concurrent list, each state will be able to legislate on its own minimum wage. If you want to work in Zamfara State civil service, you are expected to earn this as your minimum wage. This is what we will be able to pay, and so they will be able to pay that and not owe the staff their staff salary for months and years, as you have rightly stated. If there is a state that says, well, the federal government has legislated and has said that minimum wage is 50,000 per month, we feel that we have enough money that we can pay 60,000, and the legislature, and that makes the minimum wage for that state. The state can go ahead and do that. I feel that it would be more convenient for each of the states for the matter to let me
go back to Ibadan to round up this topic because of time really. Now let me go to you, Barrister Akingbolu. Now as I said before, concurrent list, executive exclusive list, as it were. Now, it will be flexible, because at this time now, the challenge will now be for the people of the states, not the federal thing, where they should be able to vote in their governor or their legislators into power with the promise that this is the minimum wage we want before we can vote you into office. So, and if that isn't achieved when they get into power, the labor in that state cannot be the one to go on strike instead of the whole federal thing coming from the exclusive list. Quickly.
Yeah, just like the other speaker said, as we have today, there is no labor in Nigeria. The ones we have now are just political labor people. Now, they don't practice it the way we used to know it. These days, I don't know if they can call for any strike and people will follow them. They are supposed to fight for the interests of their people. And now, what brought about the issue of exclusive to, legislative and concurrent? Concurrent is the one, and those things that both state and federal can legislate on, while the residual list is the one that only the local district can legislate upon, and the federal is the exclusive. But now, whether it is exclusive or concurrent, it wouldn't have mattered if the government of the day is so concerned about the welfare of Nigerian workers. I can tell you very well, it's a dangerous invitation. Once it is moved from the concurrent legislative list and brought to from the exclusive legislative list and brought to the concurrent, there is going to be serious issue. The 30,000 minimum wage is what brought about this issue of saying the governments are now agitating that we want it back on the concurrent legislative list so that they can go to their state and pay a